Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So, these are my thoughts on the match that ended Chelsea 3, Newcastle 2 on Monday. Obviously, it was a massive, massive result for us. We had to win in order to have any sort of chance of getting any European football for next season by the league. With this win, we're now 1 point behind Newcastle, and we have a game in hand, and we're now, I think, 4 points off the Conference League spots. So, obviously, if we beat Tottenham, if we win our game in hand, we would go 1 point off the Conference League spots, like 5 points off the Europa League spots. And even though it's not a big chance, there's always that small opportunity now for us to get some European football. Obviously, we're still in the FA Cup, but I'm really not holding out any hope for that one, as City and Liverpool are both still in it. So for our goal, we had Petrovic. On the left, we had Cucurella. We had Chalobah and Disasi as our centre backs, and Gusto on the right. Our midfield were Caicedo, Enzo, and Gallagher. On the left, we had Sterling. Up front, we had Nico Jackson, and on the right, we had Cole Palmer. And with this match, it was really important that we got off to a brilliant start, just to kind of calm any sort of nerves down. And into the first half, I mean, you really couldn't have asked for a better start. It was such a brilliant, brilliant first few minutes from Chelsea. I mean, all starts with Gusto cross into the box. Newcastle clear it not very well. It gets to Palmer. Great control, great shot. It's actually going off target, and then incredible cheeky little flick from Nico Jackson into the corner, and it was just uh, you couldn't have asked for a better start. And Chelsea for the next few minutes looked electric. We looked really dangerous every time we went forward. We looked like we could do something. And considering it was such an early goal, I mean, I thought it settled the nerves of the whole stadium, settled the nerves of the players, and Newcastle just looked awful. I mean, Newcastle just looked so far off it that I just thought Chelsea just need to kill this match off as fast as possible so we can kind of relax for the rest of the match. But as the first half went on, it, Chelsea went into really go into this habit of scoring a goal and then just sitting back and defending. We scored in the first 6 minutes, and it just and then the next 10 minutes or so we looked really good, and then come maybe minute I don't know 20, 21, 22, we just it was just so like sloppy and poor. There's both teams looked really, really bad all of a sudden, and that electric start Chelsea had, that all that momentum which they built up in the first few minutes was gone. All of a sudden, players couldn't restring a few passes together. Neither side looked good. The only good thing for us was the fact that Newcastle looked even worse than us, so they couldn't really capitalise. Or at least they didn't start by capitalising on any of our chances, but also on any of their chances. Um, but yeah, it really felt like it was kind of going towards the end of the first half, and it was probably just going to stay 1-0. And you'd hope that maybe Pochettino can re-energize the players at half time because they just looked, they were playing like they'd already won the match, and that was a massive problem. And then for Newcastle's goal right at the end of the first half, it was so many mistakes. All starts with like an Enzo ball. I don't know what he's trying to do, and then Gusto's trying to just flick the ball above one of the Newcastle players' heads. Chalobah comes flying out and misses the header, and then gets to Isak, and I mean, what a goal! Like to be fair to him, like there's no chance Petrovic isn't saving that. This was outstanding from Isak. Gets the ball controlled, uses Disasi as a kind of wall, as a shield, so Petrovic can't see. And as Petrovic is about to set himself, Isak shoots, and then there's just no time for the keeper to kind of set himself and then dive. So it was brilliant. It was perfect striker play. And maybe you could say Disasi probably could have got closer, but I mean, the fact is that it all starts from just it's a calamity of errors, and yeah, it changes the whole atmosphere at halftime because you go in instead of being 1-0 up, or could easily been 3 or 4, you're 1-1. And Chelsea over the last few matches, especially, have a really bad habit of starting the second half really sloppily, really sloppy. So yeah, we go into halftime 1-0, and it's such a frustrating moment. And you're there, and I personally was fearing the worst. I mean, for the last 3 matches in a row, we've either conceded straight into the second half, or we've conceded, but it was ruled out for offside. So we've not had the first 15 minutes of the second half are rarely good for this team. They always seem to come out half asleep. So we come out for the second half, and again, I'm fearing the worst. The way this team has performed into the second half, it's rarely any good. But they come out really, really strong. We kind of we start the second half in some ways like we started the first half, take complete control of the game. And within the first, I think, 15 minutes or so of the second half, instead of conceding, we score. And it was such a brilliant, brilliant goal. It's like starts with Caicedo, passes it to Enzo, gets it to Palmer, who kind of finds a tiny pocket of space between a couple of Newcastle players, and then just shoots like between the Newcastle players' legs. Again, no chance for the goalkeeper. And all of a sudden, all the sort of nervousness that happened at the end of the first half are gone. I mean, it was just such a brilliant goal, and it just epitomizes how good Palmer is. I I don't care what City say, what players they have. I will never understand why they allowed Cole Palmer to leave. I mean, he's for me, him alongside Gusto have been our best buys over the summer. Palmer is just he's a phenomenal player. Got an assist and a goal. I mean, he's having an incredible season and is our best player this season. But I mean, yeah, it was such a brilliant, brilliant goal. And after that, I mean, Chelsea just completely took control of the match. There was one really just infuriating moment, which was just such a frustrating time. So Sterling goes through on goal. He does all the hard work. He outpaces the Newcastle defence, gets control of the ball. He's through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. All he has to do is square it to Palmer. If he passes it to Palmer, it's an open goal. It's easy. All of a sudden, bam, done. 3-1, that should be it. It's over. But instead, he just I don't know what he was thinking. He tries to outskill the goalkeeper, takes it around him. But by the time he's done that, you already have two Newcastle players on the line, and then obviously he shoots, and they're just right there to block it. If he had just squared it, and this isn't the first time he's done this. He did this against Wolves as well. He's done this a couple of times, and in the other matches, he's cost us points by not squaring it. This time round, luckily we won. But if he had just passed it, the game would have been tied up a lot earlier. So anyway, on to our final goal, and I mean, this is such. I mean, this was such a brilliant goal. For one thing, the whole run from Jackson was outstanding. Jackson, for me, Jackson isn't a striker. He just isn't a striker. But he's been phenomenal on the left wing. I mean, he scores a few goals. Obviously, he scored a brilliant goal earlier on. But I prefer him not having the pressure of being a striker. On the left, he's outstanding. He uses his pace. He uses electric pace to get down their left hand side, and then we get right into the edge of their box, passes it to Gallagher, and then and then Mudryk just takes it off him, and then all of a sudden Mudryk just does a Hazard esque kind of slalom, goes through two or three Newcastle players, goes around the Newcastle goalkeeper, and then just slots it in. Um, I mean, it was such a brilliant moment and such a special, special goal. Huge, huge in the match. It killed the match off. Obviously, they scored another goal a few minutes later, but still. Um, but I mean, oh, it was such a brilliant, brilliant moment, and I'm so happy that Mudryk's the one who did it. He has to start. Mudryk has to start the next game. You can't score and then not start. So I'm really hoping Poch plays him, even if it's in the FA Cup against Leicester this weekend. But yeah, no, I mean, Chelsea really just need to use Mudryk the way that he likes to play. Mudryk is a very direct player. When he came on, in the space of 10 minutes, he already did more than Sterling because he ran at the opposition. He ran at them, and because of his pace, he causes absolute mayhem for their defenders. I mean, he had another opportunity not that long after that where he just beat them the pace. And Chelsea really need to start using some of these players like Jackson, like Mudryk, to their best skill, which is just hit him behind, beat that last man, and then use their pace. But yeah, Mudryk was amazing. Just such an incredible goal, such an important goal as well in the context of the match. And then yeah, that was incredible. And then right at the end, it was it's. I mean, it was a frustrating one because obviously you go into. I think it just signalled for the last 6 minutes. Newcastle tried to play a ball, and Cucurella, who had been incredible all match, hadn't put a foot wrong actually for the 90 minutes, tried to step in front of Murphy, and instead he got spun. Murphy then ran. and just I mean, it was such a incredible rocket of a goal. I mean, normally you'd be annoyed at a goalkeeper for kind of being beaten near post, but the pace that Murphy could put was able to put on his shot was just yeah, fair enough. I mean, obviously, I prefer it if Petrovic saved it, but I mean, it was an incredible goal, and I mean, it was poor from Cucurella. But again, he had a great game, but outside of that, and anyway, they score. It's 3-2. All of a sudden, it's 6 minutes added on, and I was definitely nervous that we were going to throw it away. But we were quite lucky, quite lucky because Newcastle didn't do anything for the 6 minutes. There's just over 6 minutes left, and I don't think they had a shot on target for that entire time. So anyway, we got away with it, 3-2, massive result. Still 11th, but with a game in hand. Again, guys, if you enjoy this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And we have a FA Cup match this weekend against Leicester again on Sunday. It's huge. Another chance to win silverware. Um, another chance to have a chance to win silverware. Obviously, if we beat Leicester in the semi-finals, and then you never know. So I will see you all on Sunday when we have hopefully booked our place in the FA Cup semi-final.